Hi everybody. Today I am going to be checking in with my monthly goals for the month of September, setting my monthly goals for the month of October 2022, and then saying at my monthly calendar in my MakseLife Undated Vertical Weekly. These are videos I do every month, and I just did my quarterly assessment / check in with my annual goals. And so you'll see some of that going into my October goals. So if you're curious about more context or any of that, just check out the previous video. I will be using my MakseLife Undated Vertical Weekly. Like I said, I've got my mild liners, which I've matched as best as I could to the MakseLife colors. And then I've also got my Zig Clean Color dot pens as well. And then I'm using a Statler Pigment Liner 01. And then once I get to the monthly calendar, I have a monthly kit from Chrissy Designs and my 2022 Celebrations collection, as well as a Sakura Micro Perm for the stickers. So let's get going. If you are interested in anything specific in this video, I will have timestamps down below. So we'll start with my September monthly goals. My personal focus was to maintain hobbies and practices, and I pretty much did that. The only one I haven't checked off is plant care because I haven't gotten to the end of the month yet. But I already did my one little word for September. I got my manicure, although I'm getting another one right at the end of September on Friday, which is the 30th. And so, yeah, but I did get one done already. And I did cook a new wok recipe. It was a, what was it? Like a yaki udon, but it was with a bulgogi marinated beef. And it was very, very good. And it made a metric shit ton. It wasn't hard, but god damn it, if it was... It made a lot, and I made it when Sunny was out of town, so I haven't made it for them yet. For fun and recreation, I said keep it local and fun. We have been to the dog park weekly. The only time I haven't been there this week yet because I've been feeling so shitty, but my goal is to get there with Jessie sometime this week. So that'll be my last week. And then I did not get to a museum, and so I was worried I wasn't going to hit my quarterly museum thing. But then I remembered, Jess and I went to Chatfield Farms, which is also part of the Botanic Gardens, but it's a different site for the Lavender Festival. And that counts as a museum in Denver that I hadn't been to yet. So while it doesn't count for September, it does count for the quarter. So I'm just going to give myself that. Technicalities. We did go see Hadestown though, and that was fucking rad. It was so awesome. For work and learning, my focus was to get all of the HB90 system for the next quarter taken care of. I am in the process of that this week, so I have not checked this off yet, but goddamn it, I will come out of this week with it finished because I really felt it not being done this last quarter. If you watch the previous video, I kind of go into more of a deeper ramble about my issues with my work life right now, but these are not checked off yet, but I swear I will post a picture on Instagram on Friday the 30th of my compound board setup. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Moving on to family and relationships, maintain and expand. I haven't had lunch or breakfast with Sunny yet. We just haven't had the chance. Both of us have been feeling shitty, but I have with RJ. I did have a coffee date with my friend, although only one. And Jess and I, our date nights have really fallen off the radar lately, mostly just because I've been feeling so crappy and I've been underwater at work. So that has not been great. That's something I'm definitely going to want to focus on in October. Health and wellness. No soda September. Did not fucking happen. My God. My God. Also, the daily Peloton thing did not fucking happen either. I have been feeling so shitty, and it was funny. I was talking to my patrons about it, and they were like, drinking soda might be like a comfort for you when you're not feeling good. And I'm like, it fucking is. It definitely is. And then on top of that, because I'm so nauseated most days, sometimes the calories from soda are the only calories I ingest for a good chunk of the day because I'm so nauseated. So this next month, we'll get to it when I get to the goals, but let's just say I'm not going to worry about it so much, but I did get a soda stream. And I already asked for this in my bullet journal video. I'll ask for it again. If you have any soda stream tips or recipes, let me know in the comments below. Same for spiritual and personal growth. Get to know first you did not fucking happen. Again, not feeling good. But one of the things I figured out from my quarterly assessment is that I need to kind of set some different expectations in my life to fit that in. Because right now I'm so exhausted and my Sundays are already so busy. That actually isn't an easy thing to just do. So that's something to think about this month, which might show up in my goals. I haven't written them yet. For holiday no spend setup, we did have that set up. We still haven't set our budgets on a few of the things yet because they haven't really come into play yet, but we're working on it. I did do a really good job with the no spend though, and the budget meeting, again, something we're working on it. So I did not finish most of these things, but we have been making progress. As for the odds and ends in the front yard, finishing the front yard is done for now. It's a project, but what we were going to do this year is done. We didn't wind up turfing. We wound up just mulching. I decided against planting the green stalk for fall because I'm so exhausted. I just don't have it in me for this fall. Side yard trash is something I'm working on this week. The furnace service is happening on the 30th. It's already scheduled. The sprinklers, I just have to put a date on the books, and maybe I'll do that in this video. Let's make a note, Cindy. Let's do that for part of this. I won't do it as part of this video, but I will make sure to grab it by the time. So I just make a note of the day. Because Jesse's going to do it, but we just need to know what day to have him do it. And then hanging the print in the gallery wall plan. Neither of those have happened yet. They probably won't happen this month, so it'll probably get booted to next month. So that is my September goals. Some successes, some not so much. Honestly, the fact that I accomplished anything this month with how shitty I've been feeling, which is like the fucking theme of the last couple of videos, I apologize for that. But it's part of fucking real life, right? I'm not hateful on myself. I'm not going to give myself grace. I hate that term because it's very religious-ified. But I'm feeling okay with the progress I've made, the maintenance I've made, and I'm not hating. I understand why certain things didn't happen. It doesn't mean they're all justified, but I do understand why. And that, I think, is really valuable. So let's move to October. Now, you'll notice as I'm flipping back and forth when I speed this up, I've got these little Post-it notes that I put, these little cloth and paper Post-it notes. These are little additions or modifications I made during that previous quarterly assessment. And I'm glad I did because it's kind of giving me a direction for where I want to point most of my goals. For my personal goals for October, the focus is going to be boundaries and expectations. And I imagine that focus is actually going to carry over to a couple of other categories. You'll get an idea from when I talk about these because I've got two sort of sets here of actions. One set of actions are my kind of maintenance actions, kind of going along with the flow of what I've been doing. One little word. 2 new recipes. I didn't put wok recipes. I just put 2 new recipes because, why limit myself? I'm trying to learn the breadth of the wok, but coming off of a couple of big freelance jobs, my tendonitis is really active right now. So trying to do the wok thing is actually not very feasible this month. I need to give myself a little bit of a rest, but I would like to try some new recipes, especially as we move into fall. Plant care, and then getting my manicure done. Like I said, I'm getting one done on the 30th, but that with 3 weeks, that'll still put me deep into October. And as for plant care, I did put that as one of my habits that I will be on top of in the month of October. The non-maintenance, the other thing, is sort of going to connect it to a couple of other spots on my goals, and that is setting work and financial boundaries and expectations, because if I can get those boundaries set, that will bleed over into personal and other areas of my life. Very specifically, figuring out like the new goals and expectations of work for what's necessary for our family from a financial standpoint and from a time standpoint, which will help me with things like maybe attending church, feeling a little bit better about my fucking, work life, etc. So we'll talk more about that as we go through the rest of the goals. For fun and recreation, my focus is fall fun and prep. And the reason I put that is because we have some stuff coming up in November, so I do need to prep for that, finish our trip planning to go to my grandmother's memorial service and our family Thanksgiving. The holidays are usually so intense. October is kind of our last hurrah before to like kind of leisurely try things. And so I did put doing a fall foliage day trip on here. And then I also put the dog park because that's something we've really been enjoying doing together. So trying to keep it kind of low key. All right, for work and learning, again, boundaries and expectations. The 2 things I put on here was 1, to do my weekly HB90 check-ins. It's something that I found very helpful to have on my weekly planner when I was really deep in the system the first couple of quarters. And since I fell off it this last quarter, it felt prudent to add that back into my planner every week. And then figure out realistic work schedule and workload. That's the other thing on here. For my family and relationships, I actually carried over the same focus as fun and recreation, fall fun and prep, because I am kind of keeping it thematic, I guess. Not on purpose, it's just sort of happening that way. But again, much like the personal, I've got it sort of divided into some maintenance things and some prep things, some bigger actions that are for something in November. So for the maintenance, I put lunch and breakfast with Sunny, RJ, and Jesse. I didn't put date nights because I don't know if that's going to happen or not. And I only put 1 coffee date because that seems to be what I can aspire to right now. For the items I need to work on, they're all for our trip it's basically all for my grandmother's memorial service. I'm in charge of the program, so I need to get that taken care of. I need to do the cover art for a photo book my cousin is putting together that we can buy on Blurb. And then my sisters and I are singing, and I need to work on learning the music and in some cases writing the harmony for my parts for the songs that we're singing. The first 2 weekends in October, the first weekend I'll be going to the Sugary Gal Shop thing, and then the second weekend is this trip. So this has to get done in October. So for health and wellness, my first non-thematic focus is to take care of me. I put 5 habits here, and I want to talk a little bit about them because I want you to understand sort of what my focus is here. So the 3 major carryovers are tracking my blood pressure because I'm still failing ass at that, and I have a doctor's appointment at the end of October, so I need to be able to bring him a couple weeks of solid blood pressure info, and so this has to get done. And then my making sure I get all the water I want, which is currently 120 ounces. And taking Layla for a walk every day just to get me outside. And then I'm bringing back Peloton daily. Again, I want to just see how much I can do of it. And then the no takeout is not, I don't want any takeout during the month. We actually had a conversation about how having a couple of planned takeout nights every week could help me in some of the burden of cooking for the family. I want to track how many days I have none because I'm feeling that that's one of the areas that we can really work on, like how I'm eating to maybe improve some of my situations as well as finances. So that's why. It's not because I'm like trying to do a cold turkey no takeout month. I want to just keep track of it. I'm going to just leave spiritual and personal growth for right now, even though I know this is kind of a laid back month. There's enough things I want to focus on, and with how shitty I'm feeling, I just don't want to have that hanging over my head. So we'll move to financial. I'm carrying over the boundaries and expectations focus that I had on work and learning and personal. And I also forgot to highlight the habits up in health and wellness, but those 5 are highlighted. And then I highlighted the no spend because that's going to continue on my habits as well. So that brings me to a total of 7 habits. And then the other one is finish having the budget meeting with Jesse, which then we need to develop our new financial plan that takes into account said boundaries and expectations. For my physical environment goals, we've got winter prep. I want to get our sprinklers blown out, clean the guest and laundry rooms because we may have my mother-in-law visit, get our mudroom cleaned up because it has become a pile of random shit and we actually need it to function when it's time for like boots and so on and so forth, and getting the rugs into place that we keep by all the entrances that, you know, catch all the moisture. And then aside from those, I want to get the gallery wall hung and the print in my bedroom hung. So those are going to be my goals for the month of October. They seem pretty doable and also directly impactful in terms of how I'm feeling about my life. So that's a hopeful place. So let's move now to getting the monthly calendar set up. One of the things that makes me excited is that I love these October colors. They very much feel like spring colors to me, but at the same time, they're so pretty. Like I wasn't going to change these colors out, even though in some ways I'm like, oh, that doesn't feel really fall-like, but I don't care. They're fucking gorgeous. And that orange is a very like, this feels almost like instead of a standard fall, I just spit on it. Oh my God. Standard fall or Halloween palette. It's more of like a bent fall palette. Like these colors feel like they could be fall colors, but they're in the tones of them feel much more spring-like. But if you slightly like desaturated them, they'd actually feel very fall-like. So it's kind of like a fun twist on a color palette that, while I think is cool, like it's awesome in the fall, that pumpkin spice latte kind of palette does get old after a while. So I do appreciate Kristen keeping them loose. It's funny. I have now made this peeling of the backing paper almost a ritual. Every time I'm using like a sheet of stickers where I plan to use the majority of the sheet. Like when I have in my sticker books where there's like sticker sheets where I will go and just pull like a sticker from on occasion, like, you know, a sheet of icons or something. I don't bother, but like there's something kind of fun about this and I really appreciate it. So I did the thing that you guys suggested where when the month ends like on another week to just bring it up here. Only one day. It's totally fine. All right. So the first thing I need to do before I do anything else is put in the break. There's a fall break mid-month. We still haven't figured out yet if the kids are going to be heading to Napa for that break or not. I don't know yet. Instead of that, I'm just going to put in the week of fall break with washi tape. Or as my grandma would say, not the grandma who just passed away, my other grandma who passed away a couple years ago. She would say in her that like kind of pseudo grew up in California but had parents who did not kind of accent Mount Washington. This is washi tape. We used to make fun of my grandma for that. Just because we were assholes. I remember when we were in Oregon and my grandmother we'd be driving with my grandma and we'd see Mount Washington and be like, which mountain is that, Grandma? Mount Washington? Yeah, Mount Washington. I have several family members who have that R kind of situation built into their accents because of how they were raised and their family and everything else. So, but my sisters and I, we could be chumps. Let's just be realistic here. We could be chumps. This is like the David Bowie song, We Could Be Heroes. Well, my sisters and I, we could be chumps for many fucking days. All right, so I've got the week of fall break marked off in here. Oh, hi, Mark. Little slice tool did not slice as much as I wanted it to. That's okay. Okay, so that's fall break right there. So I'll just add a little sticker on it to denote. And then if the kids fly to Napa for that, then I'll put that in here too later. I think that might be the only school time off though for the RJ because Sonny's not in school right now. Where's my little calendar? Where's my little calendar? There's my little calendar. Those are the only days off for extra days off for the month. And then this weekend, I'm going to take a 3-day weekend because that's the weekend that the kids, if they are out of town, that they'll be going out of town. So I'm going to put that in with a different strip here just to put in 3-day weekend for me. For me. Jesse is supposed to take some time off in October to make up for the time he didn't get to take off in August, but we don't know when that is yet. So for now, we're just going to live with this. These are removable stickers. If I have to change something, then I have to change something. But if I don't, then I don't. All right, so for this upcoming weekend, there are only a couple of things that are on the calendar. One, I'm going to use this green sticker for. Jess and I need to get our taxes done because they are due mid-month, and we have just not had a moment. And he basically was like, we have to do them this weekend, and he's not wrong. I'm not making fun of him, I swear. I'm just like, yeah. So, October the 1st. Taxes. And then the second is going to be my streams. Actually, I'll just put streams in every day of the month except for every Sunday except for the 16th. We'll just do that right up front. I'm going to quickly put in my patron streams because they're actually not on my Google Calendar right now. I don't have one on the 4th like I usually do because I'm taking a day off from streams that day it's going to be the start of the new quarter for me. And I really want to just get myself situated, especially with everything that I'm trying to do to like reset some boundaries this month. And I put it on the wrong day because I'm awake. And then we got a couple of cleaner appointments. Also, I think I'll have Jesse do the sprinklers on the 8th. We'll put that in a different color here. It can get moved if need be, but we're already dropping down to the low 40s at night, which means that 32, I think it's 32 degrees, 35 degrees, something like that, is like once this shows up, you really need to do your sprinklers because otherwise you could blow out your pipes. Because we're doing taxes this coming up weekend, giving it one more week to do it is probably a good idea. But if the temperatures get even colder on the forecast, we may change that up. But for now, we'll just put the sprinklers on that Saturday. My appointments are actually not super built up yet. It's a fairly low-key month coming up compared to some that we've had recently, which feels nice. All right, so to wrap up this week's done. This 2 days week is done. The week of the 3rd, the only stuff I think I'm missing on my calendar is that Monday, Sunny has an appointment at 11:30. For the following week, the week of the 10th, I've got a couple of things. I've got a phone call on Monday, and I have a car detail appointment on the 15th. Now, normally, by the time we get to like the third week of the month, I don't have a shit ton of appointments to add because we're like farther out into the month. But ironically, this is one of the more full weeks. The fall break week is one of our more full weeks of the month. I don't think Sunny's going to Napa that week because if they are, we have to change their appointment. But they have a hair appointment on Thursday. And I have a phone call on Wednesday. And then on Friday, Layla has a nails appointment. The final week of the month, I have a phone call on that Monday. And then on that Thursday, I have a doctor's appointment, and I feel like I have a second doctor. Oh, I have to make my physical appointment. That's the other appointment I have to make. I'll have to make my physical appointment once I hit like the end of the month because my physical was at the beginning of October. And another thing I'm going to be adding into this calendar, but not right now because I don't have the information in front of me, the appointments for my whole family to get their next vaccine as well as the flu shot. So I'll need to make those appointments pretty much ASAP. I don't have that information right now. I'll probably make that tonight. I also have to get the family registered to vote. That's also on my list for this week, but that won't be something that I'm trying to do this month because hopefully it'll be done by then. Although I think in Colorado we have till the end of the month. We're going to get Jesse and Sunny registered so that they can vote in the midterms, and then RJ, because he's 16, can be registered. He won't be able to vote. He'll definitely get to vote in the 2024 presidential election. We're not sure about the primary. It depends on when it is in Colorado. I heard it's in March. RJ's 18th birthday will be in March of 2024, at the beginning of March. So if it's later than the first week of March, he should be able to vote in the primary. He's very interested in voting in the primary, but we have not been here for a presidential primary yet. So we don't. The regular primaries for like non-presidential years are in the summer. So I don't know when they do them in presidential years, except that it's in March sometime. Okay, so I'm going to use Book Month for my celebrations collection because I fucking love to read and it matches really well, the colors. A lot of holidays that are just not, something that I am super interested in. However, they're not things that are high on my list of things. However, Halloween is definitely one of those days. So maybe we'll even grab a Halloween Steve because I believe we have the Grim Steve Purr in here and he's my fucking favorite from this collection. Although I will also put Samhain in here because that is definitely something that Sunny at the very least celebrates, but we try to when we can. We did celebrate Mabon, which is the start of fall. Hopefully nothing's going on Halloween because I'm filling that day up. Kind of want to put Fossil Day in here. What day is Fossil Day? There's no date on it. October 11th, October 24th. What the fuck day is Fossil Day? Let's find out. October 12th. I really want to go to the place. There's a place in the northern part of Colorado where there's a bunch of you can go dig for dinosaurs. Fucking love to do that. So maybe I'll look into that day. I'm not putting not putting candy corn day down though, because candy corn fucking sucks. And I'm pretty sure we have some family birthdays in October, but it's going right over my head right now. So I'm not going to worry about that. If you dressed up for Halloween in the years past or in years current, what was your favorite Halloween costume? And if you don't celebrate Halloween, then tell me about a time you dressed up and you really liked it. My favorite Halloween costume was one of the years I went to the Buffy the Vampire Slayer posting board party for Halloween in Vegas. We called it Viva Las Buffy. I wasn't even 21 yet, and a friend of mine went as Brian Slade and Kurt Wilde from the movie Velvet Goldmine. Just think David Bowie and Iggy Pop from the 70s. Vinyl pants, spray painted hair, all the things. It was awesome. Anyway, let me know about your favorite costumes in the past or something you'd love to dress up as in the future. Also, Odin is playing with Layla if you heard the growl. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, friends, peace.